2351 of a rating, and he's gotten 12 and 6 this season. He was on the Canadian junior national team as well, and played for them in the 2014 World ITTF World's Junior Table Tennis. On the other hand, Nathanial from UCLA, he's 2100 himself. He has a sister here who's also on the UCLA team, Isabel True, and was part of the USA college team that attended the World University Games in 2015.
Definitely, but despite that, almost 250-point rating difference, 249 if we're going to be exact. Nathanial, I do know. I've played against him myself from the USC team. We always have some fun competitive matches in that Southern California division. He has had much higher ratings in the past, and by no means count him out from this match.
So in terms of division-wise, how would you say like the Southern California division fares off with, you know, say somebody from New York division? Would you say that's a little bit more difficult? Would you say that it's a little bit more easy?
Definitely. We've seen in the past, the Southern California division has always been one of the powerhouses. Although now we're starting to see more and more high-quality table tennis talent from all over.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
USC, UCLA, UC San Diego all consistently have very strong teams, as we see Nathanial take the first point. Interesting to note, both UCLA and McMaster University actually did qualify for the Nationals tournament off of a wildcard bid based on their high level of playing talent on the rosters.
But you want to talk about close. These two are 12th seed and 13th seed. So it doesn't get much closer than this. Whoa. Fast backhand from Nathanial over there. Good inside-out forehand.
A lot of power. You can see how he opted for that step-around shot. As long as your footwork's on early in the morning, that's a good one to have.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see how he fares. It is a little early. Coming from California, he does have a 2-hour time difference. It's only 7 a.m. back home. But he doesn't look sleepy out there on the court.
No. He looks ready to go. Oh. 4-4, Nathanial with the serve. Oh. Goes for that inside-out forehand from over the table, but misses the table just a little bit.
Yeah, a bit of hesitation on the shot, it almost looked like.
Mm-hmm. That was a good serve from Nathanial.
The McMaster's player opted for a very, very spinny backhand flip, but couldn't quite keep it down. Notice how much his wrist goes back as he goes to take that shot.
A little help from the net. So it looks like the umpire is telling Klement to throw the ball just a little bit higher. Just as a reminder, ball must be thrown at least 6 inches in the air.
Definitely. To give those at home who aren't as familiar with the sport of table tennis, you must begin your service toss from an open palm. Toss, like Andy said, at least 6 inches in the air, and contact behind the edge of the table.
Again with that serve.
You're also not allowed to
hide the serve.
Exactly, not allowed to hide your point of contact, but that right now is a highly contested topic in both, especially international events.
You know, when you get to a high level like this, you just want to take almost every little single advantage that you can get, because that's what makes the difference between a point and a loss.
Both players seeming to have a little bit of trouble with that backhand flip early in this match.
That was a good forehand from Nathanial.
Yeah, as he takes the first game, 11-6.
So, what would you say that Klement has to do right now in order to weather this steamrolling that Nathaniel's doing right now?
Definitely. I really feel like this is still an open match. I think it's important for both players to try to take the upper hand in terms of aggression. There was some attacking attempts, but neither player really converted quite as high of a percentage as they would like to.
I agree.
A lot of missed flips on service openings. And something like that, if they can settle in and start to make those shots consistently as the match goes on, I put that would put them in a very good position.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
It'll also be interesting to see. Not much emotion on the court right now. It's early. As the team match goes on, I expect the players to get more into it. Mm-hmm. You'll start to hear cheering, celebration.
Yeah. Well, you hear some a little bit from the other court on table 2, which you can also stream into. That's another UCLA and McMaster match over there.
We'll see on table 2, Aiello, Tizano, and Max Shaw.
Oh, had a little help from the net there.
There's again that powerful cross-court forehand from that step-around side. But again, a little bit of trouble with the backhand. Mm-hmm. Do you think as the match goes on, if he can't hit that, he's going to start opting for that step around more so?
Perhaps. You know, I'm not too sure how much he's warmed up in order to fully utilize his backhand yet. But you can definitely tell his forehand is his favorite weapon of choice.
And you have to understand that in a match, especially early in the morning, you haven't had that playing throughout the day to get you settled into the zone. You miss a couple loops like that from one side, and it definitely starts to get into your head. It's tough to stay composed.
I agree.
Tough to know if I can keep doing this and eventually settle in and get that form and get my shot functioning. It's going to benefit me in the long run in this match.
Mm-hmm.
Because you know, if it goes to a 4 or 5 game,
as we see here,
we'd love to have a backhand flip.
Oh yeah. Great forehand from Nathanial, stepping around and taking that from the backhand side.
And we can see game point in the first game on court 2 to the UCLA player Tizano.
Six. This is a close matchup between the two of them.
Quick serve caught Nathanial off guard as he takes the ball off the edge of his racket. That can be tricky to gauge with serves like that. Sometimes they'll play a topspin ball or a no-spin ball, and those do bounce very differently on the table. Tough to read.
Serve. Another net.
Unlike tennis, you're allowed as many lets in a row as you would like. As we see 3 right there. A little bit of extra warm-up, yeah. You could say. And it appears to have paid off.
Yeah, that was a really good forehand.
And notice how much side spin was on that ball. Hooked away from his opponent, couldn't reach it.
According to physics, that's a Magnus effect. Over the table flip goes just a little bit long.
Yeah. Both players seem to be having more success with that mid-distance attack as opposed to the short, close table opening.
Ooh. I think he misjudged the amount of spin on that ball. Try to go for a loop.
In a table 2 update, UCLA player Tizano Aiello has taken the first game in their best-of-5 match. There we go.
That was a really good serve too by Nathanial. It almost looked like inside-out serve, but not too sure.
Again, we see a flip close to the table opener. Missed, although I do like that he's starting to play a little more aggressive, trying to take that upper hand like we mentioned in the break. Wow, beautiful.
There's that smacking forehand that we want to see.
So smooth. And interesting enough, he plays it not quite down the line, but definitely on that line side of the table.
Yeah, enough to throw his opponent off balance. Ooh. Notice on the lob that Klement added a little side spin, making it difficult for Nathaniel to return it.
12-12. We've seen a number of late deuce games so far in the championships. Those are my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh. Veins are not ice cold there. Oh, and it comes back to bite him. Nathanial takes the second, 14-12. After a missed serve at 12-12 to make the score 13 in Nathaniel's favor.
That was a great serve by Nathaniel, but Klement read that and returned it, but I guess Nathaniel just returned it a little bit faster on the second one.
I do like, though, that Klement opted for that opener as opposed to a push to try to make Nathaniel be the aggressor. He, in that second game, we saw Nathaniel taking advantage as he started to attack more. And assert himself on the table. And even at a deuce game after missing a serve, it's fun to see the players still fighting and noticing that he does need to attack.
I think, you know, going into game 3 right now, I think that Klement is going to have to be a little bit more aggressive with the way that he plays, because Nathaniel is certainly not backing down from this.
Definitely. And this is how we talked about at this point in the game. It's nice to have your forehand backhand flips, everything warmed up so that you can fight and put up your best game when you do need it in the third game down 0-2. A good opener, long to the corner, Nathaniel's backhand corner. He can't quite move around fast enough.
A little help from the net.
Coming up later in this team match in the 4th position, we will also see Nathaniel's sister, Isabel Chu.
Ooh.
Good down the line shot.
Nobody home.
Very fun to see a brother-sister combo like that at a school together. They've played and trained together growing up and now play and train together in college. And I'm sure it also makes family visits easier. Less travel for the parents.
Oh, I'm sure.
With the two out of Northern California.
And at this level, man, I'm sure they're very competitive with each other.
Definitely. Be interested to see a match between the two of them.
Wow. Very heavy topspin ball. And he takes it underneath the table, too.
Wow.
But this time, you see Klement almost jumping up to smack it back down.
Notice, though, how high he kept his backhand. And that really is what's necessary to play that super high, slow spinning loop, regardless of which side it's coming from. But when it's at your backhand, players have a tendency to just try to brush the ball as they would on a normal loop. And something like that will result in a play off the edge of the table, point to your opponent. It's good composure from Klement to stay above and attack to win that point.
Ooh, good serve there. Ball goes short. And, you know, we can see that Klement, you know, he's being a little bit more aggressive in this game, and it's certainly paying off.
Yeah, definitely. Even as we saw on that missed serve return a point or two ago, he still is being aggressive, playing that short ball, trying to make it more difficult on Nathaniel to open up and attack.
So leading 5 points, 8-3.
Good.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Great backhand there.
And I love that setup shot by Klement, even though he didn't quite convert on that forehand loop. He caught Nathaniel a little off guard. Good composure from Nathaniel to run down that ball.
Good side spin serve. Ball goes long. It's a timeout called by McMaster.
As Nathaniel makes a little bit of a run at him. Good use of a timeout.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't let this game get out of hand. You fought back, executed the game plan you talked about, managed to get out to an 8-4 lead. Nathaniel got a couple points. Now it's 8-6, but you still have a comfortable position in this game.
And Nathaniel, I feel like, is the type of person that once he starts building momentum, it's very hard to stop him.
Definitely. Good to take this time out, slow him down a little bit, make him think about what needs to be done. And 6-8 is a not easy deficit to overcome. As you get later in the game, points get more and more important.
And especially for McMaster right now, he is down 2 games to none.
Good composure from Nathaniel, blocking the ball, playing it back to the side.
Seven, 9. Nathaniel with the serve.
And that's a shot I'd like to see McMaster, Klement, try to make a little more aggressive shot on. And you can see he does there.
I don't think the timing was just right on that shot.
Yeah, a little bit of frustration kicking in. Disappointed he pushed that shot before, you think?
And this deep into the game, man, mentality is key.
And a lead. good attack from Nathanial, but you can see how reserved Klement is playing right now. He's not making those same smooth attacks we saw earlier.
And that's game.
Yeah, it looked like Nathanial had a little bit of trouble with that serve into his body. Didn't quite move his feet to where he needed to take that loop from his backhand side. Yeah, I'm interested right now to see how Klement can come out again in the fourth. We saw such a strong performance in the first half, or even really first 2/3 of that third game, and that got him that 8-4 lead. Nathanial then after that dug his way back, really played, in my opinion, the more aggressive of the two in that second half.
You know, along the same note, you know, after about 8 points in, you know, when he got to 8, I think that Klement started to slow down a little bit, played a little bit more reserved, a little bit more conservative, and I think that's the opposite of what he needs to be doing in order to get up there, get his points up.
Definitely. Couldn't agree more. We see some smiles on Klement's face. I'm happy he won that third game, but hopefully ready and composed to take this fourth.
I think the crowd's starting to warm up a little bit as the morning moves along.
Definitely. You can't quite see it on this live stream as it's focused on the courts, but we do have a beautiful arena seating running around our full facility here. As we get to matches later in the day, you'll hear lots of cheering, crazy excitement as we see some of the favorites battle it out for those final positions.
And Klement starting off strong with first 2 points. Ooh, good 1-2 combo from Nathanial. Fault serve.
And again, there's that missed backhand opener.
I don't think he's been able to throw that backhand flip in this match just yet. Try to go for that inside-out forehand flip, but ball goes straight down to the net.
And at this point in the match, if you're Nathanial, you say, you know, my backhand isn't really working right now for me. I need to start running around more, using my forehand a little bit. Try to spread the table with that. Beautiful.
Yeah.
As the McMaster's opponent gives him a thumbs up for the play. Beautiful. 2 in a row.
And again, he hits that inside-out forehand to the backhand slide. This time, Klement being able to block it back, but Nathanial, again, is right on top of it.
Yeah, just like we discussed. Maybe when the backhand isn't quite working, you have to react as a player. You run around, use your forehand, go with your bread and butter.
I couldn't agree more.
Tie game here.
Ooh. That hits, I think that almost hit the edge.
It appeared to do so. I noticed how much more aggressive Nathanial has played in these past 3 or 4 points. Oh, beautiful.
That was a great forehand flip by Klement.
And that's the level of aggression we need to see from both players if they're going to come away with this match point for their team. And we know, and as contested of a team match, like we mentioned, the 12 seed versus the 13 seed, every match point counts. On table 2, it appears the score is leveled. Game score is leveled at 1-1.
tied over here on table 1, 7-7. Nathanial with the serve. Appears to be a let serve.
Beautiful.
You know, that was, I think that was one of the first backhand flips that we've seen today. But Nathanial delivering.
Notice still, though, how he did on that second contact, run around, use that forehand, and that won him the point. A lot of side spin on that serve, but handled well by Nathanial. He saw it kick a lot after hitting the table. We'll have 2 match points to Nathanial as Klement hopes to make a run and come back into this game.
Let serve. Ooh.
And it ends with a service ace.
Yeah.
I believe 2 games in that match ended with service aces, if I recall correctly.
And I think that Nathanial has a really